Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today we will be going over how to set up email for any Android-enabled device. So today we'll be using a Kindle 7-inch Fire. The settings for these ones will really be the same as any other Android device with slight variation. The method that you'll get into your account will be different depending on if you have a Motorola, a Samsung, just depending on the manufacturer of your device, whether it be a LG or any of those. So I have right here a Motorola phone, and along with a lot of other phones, it will be under the settings menu, and we're just going to go to email right here under the type of settings. With this one, however, and I believe with a lot of other devices, if you do launch the email application without anything actually set up, we will be taken automatically to an add account screen. So we'll go ahead and input the information here. It's going to ask for the email address. We'll enter the full email address. That's username and domain name. And we'll say next. And it's going to ask for the password. And we'll say next once more. When it asks what type of account we're going to select, that really depends on how many devices you have configured. If you aren't going to be using LinkU webmail to access the majority of your webmail, we're going to go ahead and set it up as a POP3. POP3 downloads from the server. That will allow you to basically not have to check LinkU webmail, not have to clear the messages. You'll be able to just go on here, and anything that you make changes to on here will automatically take effect onto the LinkU webmail platform. If we have multiple devices configured, we're going to want to go with an IMAP. IMAP is the Internet Message Access Protocol. It's a little bit newer, and what it does is it basically references the server, so you will make changes, but it will be cross-platform a little better. They won't download to the device, but if you ever do delete off of the server, they will also be removed from the device. So storage space is something to take into consideration when choosing that account. Let's go ahead and assume we only have one here, so we'll go ahead and set it up with the POP3 account. The incoming POP3 server is going to be pop.linkumail.com. And for the use secure connection, again, this might be in a separate section of the setup. We're not going to use a secure connection for incoming messages. That's only going to be used for outgoing messages. That's the only place that it's actually required. Email address and username is going to be the full email address. We have the password. And we have a couple different POP settings here, just basically how you want to configure it, delete email from server, and if you are going to be using it, this kind of configures it as an IMAP if you are using it as your primary device. Otherwise, the default setting is never, which means it will keep messages on the server as a backup. That is helpful if you do delete a message accidentally off of your device. It will stay on the server as a backup. Outgoing server setting will be smtp. .linkumail.com, and it should be noted if you are using the IMAP for the incoming, it will be imap.linkumail.com. IMAP is port 143, port 110 for POP, and 25 or 2500 for SMTP if it does ask you for those settings in your setup. We are going to use the secure connection, and we can use the same credentials for incoming and outgoing settings. And again, these ports should automatically configure based on the server type, but if it does ask you for those settings, then you will be able to enter those ones. Again, POP is 110, SMTP is 25, and IMAP is 143. So you will see that POP is already set up, so that's the incoming port. We're using SSL, but for outgoing, we're going to want to change that to 25. If that one doesn't work, you can always try 2500. It just depends on if it automatically fills in those last two characters or not. So we'll go ahead and say save. And next. So once we set it up, it will say setup complete. We'll go ahead and go to the inbox here. And a great way to check is that you will see messages in the inbox. And that lets you know that you do have incoming messages. You can go ahead and refresh that. And if you'd like, you can send out a message as a test message just to confirm that you do have outgoing. but it looks like everything is configured. So that's how to set up email to an Android device. Configuring to an iOS device is a little bit more complicated, and we'll go over that in another video. If you have any questions on this, you can go ahead and let us know. You can check our support site for a walkthrough on this tutorial that I just gave you today. It has all the steps written out if that's a little bit easier for you. LinkUsupport.com. Go ahead and enter your device name or Android, and you'll be able to see the settings for POP and IMAP for that one. If you do have any questions, you can go ahead and give us a call. Our number here is 888-99-LinkU. That's 888-995-4658 if you have any specific questions on this one or if you're having trouble connecting. And once again, if you do have a problem getting the username and password in, I would recommend going to linkuwebmail.com, just confirming that you do have the correct username or password. But with those settings, you should be able to connect to any Android-powered device, so smartphones, tablets, and the like. Once again, if you have any questions, go ahead and give us a call or submit us a support request. And have a great day.